Well, what's up again there, guys? Brian here, D3 Topics Gamer, and I have a very, very interesting video to share with you guys today. As I'm sure you can tell from the title, I'm sure some of you guys are really excited. This will be a Versus Series Season 7 matchup breakdown video. Now, I originally wanted to try to do this in a private setting with like a few people kind of, coming to like a private, I don't know, like Skype meeting, and then we could I kind of share what matchups I did have planned, as well as some matchups that I kind of hope get changed, or maybe some of you guys can come up with better matchup ideas. Because as of right now, I'm currently working with an animator who is gonna actually create kind of like a wrestling style matchup card. And I need to give him the definitive matchup list by a certain period of time, and then he's gonna have it ready for me to upload at the beginning of February, because the first matchup for the Versus Series Season 7 is going to come out the last week of February. Now, this video, I'm pretty much going to go over all 7 matchups that I have set. Some of these matchups are locked, meaning there's no need to change it, and then there's a couple, maybe a few matchups that were set a while back, but I think need to be changed because either someone else has already made the matchup, or I'm just not interested in the matchup, or this matchup seems a little bit unbalanced. So it's kind of opening the door for you guys to kind of share what matchups or what characters I should switch out or use for that particular franchise. So that's what this video is going to be about. Now, I seriously recommend that if you do have a suggestion for one of the matchups that isn't a lock, I would highly, highly recommend that instead of posting your idea here in the comments, you somehow send to me to one of my social media outlets in some sort of private message, because I kind of want to keep it a little bit as a surprise. Now, if you don't want to know what any of these matchups are, I would suggest you stop now and wait probably until the beginning of next month till the official match card comes out. But maybe if you're watching this, you're interested, so you're probably not going to stop watching. So that's really what this video is about. But if you happen to enjoy this video by the end, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to direct me on my future videos. And remember, if you guys have any ideas for future ideas or discussion videos, just videos in general, please let me know what you would like to see in the comments down below, and I will try to get it up as soon as I can. So, for wasting any ado, from this point on, I'm simply going to break down each individual matchup as for why I picked this matchup, why I think it's interesting, and then move on to the next one, which ones are locks, which ones need to be changed, etc. So I'll see you guys at the end, and I hope you guys will enjoy what 7 matchups will be coming this season for Versus Series Season 7. All right, starting with the very first matchup for Season 7, the opener. This will be Cal Kestis versus Starkiller semi-rematch, because instead of using Galen Merrick from Force Unleashed 1, we will be using his clone from Force Unleashed 2, and using Cal Kestis from Jedi Survivor. Now, I've actually already done research on this, and I'm already about, like I say, halfway through scripting, and I can tell you, this is a much bigger, different matchup than Season 6 finale. Cal Kestis and Starkiller are 2 vastly different combatants compared to the first matchup, and I actually like a number of the changes, and I cannot wait to kind of break down the primary differences between Starkiller and Galen Merrick. And although I don't have a definitive conclusion to how the matchup will officially end yet, because I'm still doing a little bit more research and scripting, I have an idea of the direction it's going to go, and I absolutely love what I'm seeing so far. Now, this matchup is going to be coming out on February 26th, the last Wednesday of February, and that's going to be a common theme for a lot of the release dates for all these matches for this season. They will be released on the last Wednesday of every single month, just as a heads up. A lot of people really underestimate Cal Kestis, and as I stated at the end of last season's finale, the purpose of that matchup wasn't really to kind of put up an argument that Cal Kestis would defeat Galen Merrick. It was to present the argument that if applied the right way, Cal Kestis, even during Fallen Order, had all of the necessary abilities, techniques, powers that applied the right way, could take down Galen Merrick. Was it likely? No. But was it possible? Yes. And I think even one of the best examples that I really wish I could have added is throwing out the argument, well, who should win it in a fight between Return of the Jedi Darth Vader and Return of the Jedi Luke Skywalker. Because if you break these down in terms of stats, Vader should stomp Luke 100%. In fact, it would actually make more sense for Vader to want to go out of his way to kill Luke in order to kill the last bit of good in him. But due to circumstances, Luke was able to win. And I always felt that that is a factor that could apply to the Cal Kestis and Galen Merrick fight. Now, Cal Kestis during Jedi Survivor against Starkiller from Force Unleashed 2 is going to be very different. Breakdown is a lot more complex than it was before. So, yeah, I'm really excited to get this video uploaded at the end of February. But, yeah, I couldn't think of a better matchup to start this season than the sequel to the last matchup of last season finale. So that's why it's the first opening matchup for season 7. All right, going into match 2, we are going into Final Fantasy, and this time I'll be pitting Cloud Strife against Clive. So it's going to be Final Fantasy 7 versus Final Fantasy 16. Now, I would like to point out that for this particular matchup, I'm strictly going to be using Cloud as he was in OG7. I'm not going to be taking Advent Children into account, and I damn sure am not going to take Remake Cloud into effect. That game is going to be completely ignored. Nothing about this game is going to is not going to have any influence in this matchup outside of just visual cues. So I think this matchup might be a little bit one-sided. I don't know. I feel like I kind of want to do this just due to popularity, because Cloud Strife is a popular character. So the idea of pitting probably the most popular protagonist in Final Fantasy against the newest protagonist is an interesting idea. I'm a little bit hesitant, but I do think for me this matchup is a lock. I think there's a number of factors that could be very easy to break down. I think this would be just a fun video to break down and analyze. And you've got two popular characters, so yeah. This matchup is set to come out on March 26th, and this is going to be the Final Fantasy matchup for the season. So, yeah, on to match 3. For match 3, we are going to venture into Mass Effect, and this time I'll be pitting Kora from Mass Effect Andromeda against Jack from Mass Effect 3. Now, I used Kora in, I want to say, Seasons 5. I think I used Kora during my Valentine's Day match for Season 5, and I pit her up against, I want to say it was Liara. And I liked how that match came out, and I definitely liked the breakdown video. So I think pitting Kora against Jack is a lot more interesting, because I think that even though Liara is an Asari, she's not probably one of the strongest offensive biotic users in the franchise, as opposed to Jack, which is vastly different. And I think the idea of pitting two powerful human biotics against each other that have very, very opposing tactics would be a great breakdown video. Ostensibly, I think I kind of compare Kora somewhat to Miranda, and we did kind of see a conflict like that happen in Mass Effect 2 with Miranda and Jack not always seeing eye to eye. So I think a matchup like this using a somewhat more powerful, more wiser, sort of developed version of Jack against Kora, who was trained by, elite Asari and joined the Asari Huntresses, is just a great breakdown video. At this point, I really don't know who would win, but regardless of who comes out on top, when I actually start breaking down, start doing my research on this, it's going to be one hell of a fight. Now, this match is set to release on April 30th, so I'm really excited to start working on that at the beginning of April. So, yeah, that's going to be match number 3, and that is definitely a lock for Season 7. So, on to match 4. Going into match 4, we will be going into Devil May Cry, and I'm going to admit, this video is not a lock. This one, I pray someone who sees this comes up with a better idea, because for this matchup, as it's set right now, I will be pitting Nero in Devil May Cry 4 up against Bob from DMC. Now, not too many people have actually asked me where I got the name Bob and Steve from, describing them and DMC, but it pretty much goes back to one of my favorite shows that came on XPlay called Splinter Cell Co-op Theater, and the two main characters there were Bob and Steve, and they were just basically a couple of just idiots, and that's how I describe Bob and Steve in DMC, which is why I refuse to call them by the names that they call them in the game. But the thing about Bob is that I actually would make a real attempt to break down his character fairly. I don't want to do what I did with, I want to believe it was like, I think it was like Lightning versus Jester, which that was a joke fight. That was an April Fool's matchup that I didn't take seriously, and it turned out terrible. So if I were to do this matchup in the form that it is in, I would be as fair as I could to Bob, but I just don't. The bias would be too much, which is why I'm just desperate to come up with another matchup video. But I don't know who I could use. I mean, maybe I could switch out Nero, but like, who would I put Nero up against? I can't put him up against Virgil. We can't use Dante. Lucia would be too weak. Can't put him up against Trish. Can't put him up against Lady. So I really don't know what characters I can use. I really don't want to use Dante because I think Dante, out of any Devil May Cry character, is the hardest to break down because there's multiple variations of him, and there really isn't a definitive way to say how do you kill Dante. Now, I've successfully used Virgil before, I've used Trish, I've used Lady, I've used Lucia. I would love to use Lucia again, but I'm just not comfortable with this particular match. So I'm seriously desperate to come up with a better Devil May Cry matchup. This one is not a lock. If any of you watching this can come up with a better matchup that hasn't already happened, or can give me a good reason as for why we should use certain characters, please let me know. But the Devil May Cry matchup is set to come out on May 28th, but there's still a lot of time to switch this out. I really hope someone gives me a really good idea within the next few weeks so I can get it switched out and come up with a better matchup and get that one locked. So yeah, that's going to be matchup 4 for Season 7 and on to match 5. Okay, for matchup 5, this is the other one that is absolutely not a lock, and I do hope that someone out there who sees this can come up with a better matchup video. But originally, I wanted to do Ezio versus Shay, the greatest assassin going against the greatest assassin killer. However, I just recently found out that someone else that I watch already did that matchup in the form of Winter Ghost. I recently got a chance to actually watch his breakdown of this matchup, and he did a absolutely fantastic job breaking it down. I couldn't have done any better. And I do think the matchup is a bit one-sided. But again, this was decided like well over a year ago, so I'm actually upset that I didn't already know that he did this breakdown video before. But yeah, again, I hope someone comes up with a better idea than Ezio versus Shay that no one else has done that could work for a really good Assassin's Creed matchup. Assassin's Creed matchups for my Versus series have always been very, very successful. I've always had a fun time breaking them down, taking two characters from different eras, using their different tactics, different weapons, and seeing how they would fare against each other. That's always been very, very fun for me to do. The Assassin's Creed match is set to come out on June 25th. As it stands right now, it's Ezio versus Shay, but that's obviously going to change. I want a different matchup that no one else has done that would work, that feels kind of balanced. So the door's open. So heck, if you have a really great Assassin's Creed matchup, please let me know in either in the comments or in a private message. And whichever idea comes up the best is the one that I'll run with. So that's matchup 5. So let's jump into matchup 6. Jumping into matchup 6 is something that's similar to one of my prior matchups that is a matchup that's been debated about for years that most people have already done. In the similar of comparing Prototype to Infamous, but instead of pitting Alex Mercer against Cole McGrath, I thought it would be cool to pit Alex Mercer against Delson. Delson is a very, very different combatant than Cole, and I think I'm going to use maybe Evil Delson. I haven't fully decided. I think I want to go down that route. But I think a breakdown video of this would be very, very good. My Infamous and Cole matchup did very, very well. I think I did that one in season 5, and it was easily probably the most successful matchup I did for that season. So I kind of want to build off of that one by replacing Cole with Delson. I think that matchup would be very, very fun to break down. Now, that as it stands right now, this is another one that is a lock. I don't feel like changing it out, and that matchup is set to come out on July 30th. So that is what matchup 6 is going to be. Now on to the final biggest matchup, and hopefully will end up being my absolute final matchup that I do for my channel for season 7. So let's go. The final matchup, the season finale of Versus Series Season 7, is easily going to be the biggest matchup video I have ever done, because up until this point, I've either done tag teams, I've done triple threats, I've done mostly one-on-ones, but I have never pit two factions against each other, as pitting the Hellgas faction from Killzone against the Chimera faction from Resistance. Now, what works even better with this matchup is that not only are they both PlayStation, both of these franchises have been retired. So all the information about both factions is currently locked. It probably won't be expanded upon in any way. And there's so many factors to break down. This, without question, is going to be an hour-long special. I don't think I've ever done a matchup that got to an hour. I think the closest was maybe the first infamous matchup that I pit Cole against Delson. I think that got close to an hour. And believe it or not, that actually, the original edit for that video was actually over an hour long, and I took out about 20 minutes because I thought an hour was too long. But for like a matchup like this, of this scale, with so many different like factors that would have to play into just pitting the Hellgas against Chimera, this is going to be huge. This is going to be big, and I cannot think of a better matchup for a Season 7 finale, and it probably being the last matchup I do for my channel. Now, I did say that with the Cal Kestis and Galen Merrick matchup for Season 6, but I think ending on a faction, a one-time video that I'm shocked. I can't find anyone who's broken down this matchup on YouTube. Like, this would be a prime video to do, and the fact that no one else has done it before, heck, I guess I gotta be the one to do it. So yeah, I'm really excited to do this one. Now, instead of this one coming out at the end of August, like a lot of other matchups, I've decided that I'm actually gonna release this September 2nd of this year. Now, the funny thing about September 2nd is that September 2nd happens to be my birthday. So I just think it's perfect timing to release the finale of Season 7, what will probably be the last matchup breakdown video that I want to do for my channel. And I think by this point, I certainly will have reached the 100,000 subscriber goal that I've set for myself for this year. So releasing it on my birthday just kind of seems like the perfect way to just say thank you to everyone who has supported and has brought back the Versus series for this final 7th season. So those are all the matchup videos. So hope you guys have liked this little breakdown video, and now on to the closing. And that'll do it for my Versus Series Season 7 breakdown video. Now, apart from the two matchups that I said are kind of open, remember, if you guys have any ideas of what characters I should use for those two franchises, please, you can post your ideas in the comments down below, but to make it better, I would highly recommend you send it to me in a direct message, either through my personal email or through one of my social media outlets. The links are in the description down below. So again, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.